Story time. So this week's theme is the farm. So I thought I'd give you a little tour of the farm. This is the road going down between the timber and some of our neighbors who are basically distant relatives. The bridge that I was leaning over and waving to you all during attendance on Tuesday is right here. And then if you were to continue down the road, that would take you to the farm. So this is the farmhouse that my dad grew up in. This is actually the next farm over from our family home. When I told you guys about getting hit in the head with a croquet mallet, this is the cabin that my grandma built, and that's where my grandma and grandpa were. This is that farmhouse, and my cousin and I were on the other side of this deck playing croquet, and in the distance you can see the crops. That was my brother's ultimate goal with getting the ball all the way over there, and of course the croquet mallet stopped right at my head. Wonderful. Picture my dad in our gator. There's some pretty pictures. It's absolutely just incredible. This is a fort my cousin built. He lives on the other side of the timber, and so he likes to hunt. I'll show you one of his hunting. Oh gosh, what do you call it? I don't even know what you call it, but if you're a hunter, you'll know. This is part of the timber. So when I was back when I was 5 years old, my dad and uncle told me that there was a timber ghost. And all week between my dad, my uncle, and my grandma probably participated a little as well. All they talked about was, the timber has this ghost. And for a 5-year-old and 4-year-olds, they really built it up. And they really actually scared us a little bit with the anticipation. So let me tell you guys this. Last night, we are at the farm. Every trip, we go into the timber, and there is a clearing where we have a bonfire pit and some big logs that we sit on, okay? We bring our hot dogs and brats and marshmallows, and we roast everything, and we just sit around and talk and tell stories. Well, when I was 5, we did just that. And we were standing there at the fire. I remember the fire being really big, but you also have to remember that as a 5-year-old, everything is big to you. It was definitely over my head. So we're standing there, and all of a sudden, someone says, "I think I see the timber ghost." And so, of course, all of us look at each other. My cousin, my brother, me, we have huge eyes. We're like, "The timber ghost? Oh my gosh." And so then my uncle looks at us and says, "Okay, who's brave enough to go see the timber ghost?" So I was the oldest. So I thought that I should go and represent and be the courageous one in the family. Let me also tell you, there's no way Dave and Brian would have gone. They were putting a fire between them and the ghost. So I started to follow my uncle. I do admit I was halfway hiding behind him because I was freaked out. Okay. But we're walking toward the ghost, and it was dark. So the ghost had a light, like a lantern, and that's how we knew where he was. So we're walking toward him, and I remember looking back at the fire, and Dave and Brian, here's the fire, they're looking up and over with these huge eyes. They're like so into this, okay? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I just remember like kind of hiding behind my uncle. We're approaching, and the ghost is going, woo. Well, We get close enough and I recognize that noise, and that is my grandpa's voice. And so I call him out, Grandpa, is that you? And everyone started laughing. Dave and Brian come out, what? That's Grandpa? Ha ha ha. And we weren't scared. What are you talking about? So you guys have to also understand that's the same week I got hit in the head with a croquet mallet. So if there is one week of my life that I will never let Brian or David live down, it is going to be that week. Who is the strong one in this family? It's the girl. Thank you. So it was just good times, fun. So yeah, my grandpa literally had put like a bed sheet over him and had a lantern under the bed sheet. I mean, we are talking the most traditional ghost costume you could ever think of. Charlie Brown tradition.